back in May 2008 on a road trip with two Aussie friends when I first discovered the intensity of the Sierra Nevada mountains. Mount Whitney, highest point in mainland New England. Here we are, in the middle of the desert. Soon after sighting the tallest peak in the range, I decided that climbing to the top of it would be my goal as part of my recovery from heart surgery scheduled for mid-2009.
You're right. Wow.
On June 18, 2009, I underwent a double heart valve replacement operation, complicated by a blood disease similar to haemophilia. The 8 days I spent in hospital was not particularly pleasant, but the operation was successful.
How many laps, Matt?
Takes about 3 laps of pump. I started on a cardiac rehabilitation program soon after leaving hospital. The staff were great, but I was only allowed to increase my exertion level gradually. And then, I can
Show us all those devices you got in rigged up to. Fantastic.
After the cardiac rehabilitation program had finished, I made use of the oval opposite to where I live. I was power walking over 100 laps per week. I then ventured onto the local bush trails for practice on rocky and hilly terrain. So I'm really looking forward to Mt Whitney. It's going to be quite a challenge, I think. The altitude is going to be challenging for me. One of my main forms of training for Mt Whitney was stair climbing, sometimes for up to 2 hours non-stop. I planned my 6-week USA vacation around the dates that I had planned to climb Mt Whitney and Half Dome. The trip had far exceeded my expectations.
And look where we're going. This is crazy. This is seriously crazy. It is seriously steep. You gotta hope you've got grippy shoes up here.
The Half Dome hike was extremely exhilarating. It was difficult but excellent training for Mt Whitney. It was an awesome feeling to get to the top and then to make it back safely. How much harder would Mt Whitney be than this?
Heart thrust is 10.5.
I'm Greg Baker and I fell alive. Woo!
Yeah.
I'd organised a couple of days in Lone Pine in June so that I could do a practice hike up part of the Mt Whitney trail. The scenery was beautiful, but I was now realising that getting to the top and back in one day was seriously going to be testing my limits.
Well, I made it to Outpost Camp, 10,450 feet by look at it. It's taken me 4 hours, but I've taken my time, chatted to people.
I had also scheduled some time to hike at high altitude to become accustomed to the thinner air. I'd read this tip on the Whitney Portal Store online message board.
Well, we're here on top of Mammoth Mountain. It's about 11,050 feet elevation. It's a beautiful day.
The ancient bristlecone forest in the White Mountains not only provided some high altitude hiking, but also let me see from up close the oldest living trees on the planet.
So I've got Laurie here. She's just done the Mt Whitney in one day and you made it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Was this first time for you?
This is my first time.
Awesome. Well, I'm doing it on Thursday. Any quick tips for me?
Don't look down.
Don't look down.
Don't look down.
Oh God.
It's a long way down.
And take spare socks.
I didn't change socks.
Okay.
And have fun. Enjoy it.
All right. So it's going to be about a 6,200 feet elevation gain and a 22-mile round trip length. So that's a pretty big hike in anyone's language. And the most important thing is the permit, which I have now picked up. Okay, so here we are about 5:30 in the morning at the start of the Mt Whitney Trail. So come along and let's have a fun day and see if we can get up to that little peak. Alright, and we've got young Adam here who's going to guide me along the way. Say hello to all the folks in Australia, Adam.
Oh, hi.
Alright, let's do it. The Mt Whitney Trail starts at an elevation of 8,360 feet, and the summit at 14,500 feet is the highest point in the contiguous United States.
So we're about an hour 20 into the hike, and the sun's come out beautifully. It's a beautiful day. We've passed, actually a few people have passed us on the trail, including one guy that just ran the Badwater Marathon, and apparently he's done it 16 times, so he's a bit of a legend. So I'm not surprised that I wasn't able to keep up with him. We might catch up with him later on the top. So the first part of the trail is quite exciting because you're excited about the whole day. It's cool. You're feeling pretty good at this stage. Not too rocky on the trail and not too steep for the first hour or two up to Lone Pine Lake. You meet some other people on the trail that are pretty friendly.
Climbing to the top of Mt Whitney and back in one day is possible for the very fit under favourable weather conditions. However, mountain weather can change very quickly, so you should be prepared. Others on the trail thought that I was over-prepared with my 20-pound backpack on, but I say, better to be safe than sorry.
Let's carry on up this hill. When's the downhill part coming, by the way, Adam?
About another 8.5 miles.
Oh, you're kidding me. We're about 2.25 hours through the trip, and we're about 10,000 feet in elevation. We've just stopped for a rest break because it's been uphill all the way, and I needed a food break and a Gatorade break. We've just passed Mirror Lake, which looks very beautiful. But you really don't want to use too much energy up early on because you're going to need it later on. So perhaps we went a little bit fast early on, which took more of a bit of a toll as we got further up the mountains. Now this is pretty tough, so we're not sure whether or not we're going to make it, so you're going to have to keep watching.
He's killing me.
It's very, very tough. It's actually quite cool. In fact, I think it's cooler now than when we started. Or maybe that's just because we're sitting down in the shade. It's a beautiful day. A few people have passed us on the trail, not that many. I'm expecting we'll pass more as we get further up, or they'll pass us on the way down.
You need to drink plenty of water to stay properly hydrated on a hike like this. perhaps 8 litres in the day. So planning where you are going to obtain water along the trail is essential, as you don't want to be carrying 8 litres from the start.
Wow, we're at Trailside Meadow here. We've been going just over 3 hours, 11,300 feet according to the Garmin, and it's pretty hard work. You notice the effect of the altitude around about here, and there's quite a bit of snow around as well. As you can see, it's still a long way to go, but a beautiful little meadow and creek to get your mind off the exhaustion. So let's catch up to Adam and shut off. Well, we're just 3.5 hours into the hike, and I'm exhausted. I'm having a rest, and we've passed a few people going down, many of which spent the night camping at trail camp or summited and are coming back down. 11,600 odd feet. Trees are gone, bears are gone, birds are gone. It's just the man and the sun and the rock. So I'm going to battle on. Wish I had a Sherpa actually at the moment to carry that pack. See if I can find one. Maybe pay someone. And by the way, this is what's ahead of us.
Sleep.
No, some big tall rocks, and they're not even the summit, they're not even Whitney. And they're still way up there in the distance. Adam's having a bit of a nap. And you're not really going to see where we came from because there's a big rock in the way. But we'll show you that later. But good news is we're past halfway, well past halfway. So I've got a bit of snow to go through here, but there's plenty of tracks where a lot of people have walked, so as long as you're careful, no problem. So we've made it to trail camp. Not sure what the time is, a bit over 4 hours. So this is satisfying to get this far. I'm feeling I'm a little short of breath, and I'm getting sick of the uphills, quite frankly. But Whitney's getting closer. Look, I don't know if I'm going to make it, but I'll give the switches a bit of a go, see what happens. But we're definitely slowing up here.
It was a beautiful day, and the scenery from the trail was superb. I had put a lot of planning into this day, and had made it known to my family and friends that my goal was to make it to the top. But I was now wondering whether I had taken on a challenge too great for me.